Hello, I'm Shelly Ann Rothis, and I'm a different kind of victim. What is a different kind of victim? That's someone who doesn't want to do the beat around the bullshit stuff that doesn't actually work. Why? It is a myth. Most things are theories. Just like science, the same applies to most everything else. Most things aren't factual. Most things are what? People's opinions. One thing we learned in the mental health field that's very important, and I understand why now, is that we cannot put our own personal beliefs or opinions into what we are doing as for therapy with clients. So, one thing I've noticed is that this also applies to what? The legal field. Yes, I'm calling out everybody in the legal profession. And that includes the courthouse, judges, and the police departments. One thing the mental health field that I was taught is absolutely correct. We laughed at the police department because we were right next to them with classes when they were being taught. They are not taught anything of how to handle victims in domestic violence. That's absolutely correct. But guess what? There's many mental health professionals that don't know either. Why? Because they put their own personal beliefs and opinions, and they also judge the situation without looking into it. I'll give you one example. Today, I dealt with one officer that was telling me that he's a great investigator. He was educated well. Wow. Even before I got a college education and after, I know darn well that there's people out there that are not educated in college and are smarter than people that have many degrees in college. Absolutely correct. Many people hate me for saying that, but hey, I'm an honest person. That's one thing that even the officers have learned about me, is that you're either gonna love me or hate me for my honesty. So this video, I'm sure it's going to be insulting to many, but that's where I'm a different kind of victim, and I honestly don't care about what people think. Why? Because that beat around the bullshit is part of that. Is because people are afraid to speak up and state how they feel, what happened to them. Why? That's a part of domestic violence culture. So many people shame and blame victims for even speaking out about their abuse that happened to them. Ooh, keep it silent. That's personal. That could get you in trouble. Blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? I'm not ashamed, and I shouldn't be ashamed. Well, you would think I would be, considering how most professionals within the legal area had treated me. As though I'm full of shit, and that everything that's happened to me is nothing. So, today, my goal is not only to help me, but other victims for current and future situations. So, why should you even hear this? You're thinking to yourself, wow, what a B. I'll keep myself nice and not say it. But, you know what? I myself know I have flaws. I actually want to help people in the future. So if there's things that I need to change, and I have actually, due to my own personal experiences, changed my ways of thinking and understanding things better. Because I do want to make positive changes for our future. So if you're actually interested in doing your job in a way that's effective, not based on personal opinions and beliefs, then I hope you listen to what I have to say based upon my personal experiences with the legal and mental health professions as to why my experience actually caused me more harm and actually enabled the abuse to continue to happen to me and get worse. So I hope you stay and watch the rest of my video for this, and I hope it really helps you think and stop and think about it and really try to make changes within yourself, based upon what I'm trying to teach. Hello, I'm glad you're back. So now I'm going to be talking about self-love equals what? Self-defense. That's right. So why is that? I'll show how the mental health field and legal profession is flawed. Okay, I'll start off with my field. See, I'm going to insult my field too. The walkaway method. Wow, I did that several times, and you know what? The abuse got worse. So what? What can I do? I'm going to defend myself. The legal profession. What did they do? They support the abusers. That's absolutely correct. I will not name any names of the victims that have experienced these things that I have. But you know what? I am going to speak up for them too. So how did the legal profession hurt me more and enable the abuse? Therefore, the offender, because guess what? If I said anything, they would say, well, you're instigating it. Wow. So me defending myself, I'm the one that's the blame for it? Am I the cause of that abuse happening? No, I am not. I should have the right to my defense. The land of the free? We talk about this all the time. We saluted this since we were children. No, it's the land of the free for abusers, is what it is. Do I sound mad? Yes. And as my psychiatrist said to me many times, based upon what's happened to me and what I've experienced just through this, I have every single right to be angry. It is a normal feeling. I am not mentally insane. So, the law enforcement, what did they do to me as for no self-defense? If I had defended myself against these gangs, they would have said I instigated that problem. So, what about the times that they did things to me? They told me excuses for them. Well, just ignore it. Just walk away, ignore it. Can't you do that? It's not really criminal. Oh, I love this one. Freedom of speech. We have all these laws, but guess what? Hardly any of them are enforced. Why the heck do we have all these laws when none of them are hardly ever enforced? And also, most police deputies do not know the laws, nor do the judges. Oh, the judges probably do, and so do the law enforcement, but guess what? They don't want to do their job. Or they put their own personal beliefs or opinions into it. Absolutely correct. People kept on telling me, the deputies, freedom of speech. You know what? There's a line for freedom of speech, just like physical abuse. When my ex raped me, guess what? Before it happened, I told him, I am not having sexual intercourse with you. He held me down and said, you know you want it. It happened. But guess what? I dropped the charges because I started getting attacked by gangs. I was shamed for doing that too. But guess what? I honestly wish I never reported it, because I was attacked by gangs. I reached out for help. Officers told me, well, we would have protected you. Are you protecting me now? No, you wouldn't have protected me then. Same goes to the courthouse. In my anger, I'm going to call it the Indian River Crap House. That's my anger. Sorry, I'm going to insult you. No, I'm not sorry. I tried to get a restraining order on the man who spit on me, and it didn't work. Twice. He also stalked and harassed me, and is still doing it. And it's been happening for over a year. Of course, that's where the beliefs and opinions coming into it with the judges. Even though it's actually illegal to happen, I gave evidence, but they didn't give a crap. So, yeah, I got denied. What does that do to me also? The police don't want to help me after, even knowing that this happened to me. Well, the judges didn't, they denied it, so it must not be real. Or, just forget about it. Well, you know what? This is what I'm going to say for not only myself, but for all victims as a whole. And I honestly mean it. People usually say, I hope you don't go through what I did. I now go by what I recently taught and learned for myself is, do unto others as they do unto me. And you know what? I honestly hope that all of you that didn't help me or actually enabled the abuse to continue happening to me, I hope you go through what I had to go through. You have no idea how bad it affected me. It affected me so bad, more than anything in my entire life. So I honestly hope you go through it and I can stand there and watch it happening to you. So my part for this is self-love, is self-defense. Most of the time in the law enforcement, people that do defend themselves are the ones that end up going to jail, even though they weren't the one that caused it to happen. They were defending themselves. So my plea is that the courthouse and the judges think deeply about this when they make their decisions, not looking at that restraining order saying, blah. Also, one thing that needs to change very badly is that the courthouse needs to be involved with the police department, knowing what is happening to that victim, and not just going by what I wrote. If you've seen my case, it's been happening for over a year now. So, there's many changes in our society that needs to be made, and that's one of them that I'm going to point out now. And also, again, self-love equals self-defense. I'm defending myself now and all victims in hopes that I can make positive changes. And like I said in the introduction, if you actually care about your job and are doing it for passion, there's many in the mental health field as well that don't do it for passion. Many of them are in there because, why? There's certain things in their past that they have bad feelings about, that they think that they can get it out of them by being in that profession. Almost like retaliation, revenge. When in actuality, that doesn't help any. That actually causes more harm. There's many reasons why people get into professions that aren't for reasons of passion, that will actually be a benefit to that profession and make them something that is beneficial for all. So if you actually are in your job for the right reasons and you actually do want to do it to help people, then you're going to listen to what I have to say and actually think about what your flaws are within society that enables abuse to continue. I hope you stay for the next part. Hello. Okay, the next part is going to be based upon many things that were said to me that is actually shaming me, blaming me, and insulting me. And also defending the offenders. That's right. The land of the free for abusers. So, in one of my videos I talked about why is such a naughty word? Well, you know what? This can apply to many of the things that were said to me frequently by the law enforcement and mental health professionals. So I will go through it. There's so many things, so don't mind me having to read it and go through all the horrible things that were said to me during my time of being abused. Just ignore it. Can't you just ignore it? Like I stated in the last part, is the land of the free for the abusers, and putting it all on the victim. Why didn't you report it? Look what happened to me. The abusers get the excuses, and I get treated as though I'm a burden. That's exactly how most of the deputies in the Indian River County Sheriff's Department treated me, as though I'm a burden. We'll protect you. That's all I have to say. Yeah, right. Oh my goodness. I shouldn't have to ignore them. It shouldn't be happening. It's illegal to stalk and harass. I shouldn't have to show the law. But these deputies that have an education would tell me, well, there's the freedom of speech. There's a line. Don't go to victims telling them laws based upon your uneducated beliefs. It is not helpful, and it actually causes more harm. Stop it. Just like the Y is bad. Stop putting out lies. As for the judges and everybody else, is your own personal opinions and beliefs based upon abuse and the laws. Stalking and harassing is violence. It doesn't have to be physical harm. As I've gone over in past presentations, is guess what? The other stuff harmed me so much more than the physical assault and the sexual assault. All together. And I've been raped twice before this one. I tell you right now, when all the other stuff was so much more harmful to me and actually caused me harm in my current and future life. I now have complex PTSD. I ended up losing my job due to the enormous amount of mental stress. I became physically sick several times. I had to call in sick due to not getting sleep at night. You want to talk about physical harm? Yeah. Like I said before in the last part, I hope you go through what I did, and I can watch you go through it and not do anything. You really need to move out of there. That's an excuse to not do your job. Or, actually, there's times that they want to do their job, but they know that their field is flawed and won't do the right thing. They won't want them to do the right thing. How is that? Why should I move? I'm being told to move out of my place. This place was so special and sentimental to me. I'll put it out right there. This was the first time I thought I had the chance to have the life I never thought I could ever have. I'm going to have to leave it now. Not only because of the abuse, and even if it stopped, the PTSD, the triggers, everything around me is triggers due to the stalking and harassing, people spying on me, people threatening me, people following me. You have no idea how enormously it affected me in bad ways. Because I myself have anxiety disorder before this happened, and I am one to go outside quite often due to that. But I'm too afraid to go outside, even now, because I didn't get the help that I needed. But telling a victim, just move out, as though it's easy. Well, you know what? I don't have that much money. I lost my job due to the stress and all that was happening to me. I'm on SSDI. I'm on assistance. I have a housing voucher. I don't have money coming out my pockets. So think about that before you tell a victim that. That's blaming them. Saying, well, just move out. Like it's, you should take care of be responsible for the abuse that's happening to you. What? Why aren't the criminals being told to move out? Heck, the landlord was a part of the abuse. Absolutely true. HUD is involved. And they want to be. Because they put me on priority because they see my case as emergency. The police, though, for over a year now, are treating me as though I'm a burden and I should just get over it and ignore it. Same with the judges who denied my restraining orders and the warrant for arrest for my ex. That's also due to the lack of the police deputies involved who didn't write out those reports properly. And I scorn them highly for not doing their job properly. There's free legal aid. Oh, I love that. Just like the, moving out there. Wow. Yeah, that free legal aid. Well, they're funded. They don't have that much money, and they can only do certain types of cases. So yeah, I called free legal aid. I already know that. I'm in the mental health field. But can they help me? Not with my situation. They can only do certain types of cases because that's what they're funded for. So, to the people that told me to just move out, get a lawyer. You know what? Pay for it for me. And even if I had money, why should I have to pay for laws to be enforced? Ooh, the land of the free for abusers. As I stated, there's so many laws out there, but hardly any of them are enforced. That's exactly what we learned in the mental health field. You guys care more about drug crimes than sexual offenders. You let them go free. It's all about money to you. Many have told me that. And I actually see that's true now. It's about what's going to make you the most money. That's one of the things I mentioned in the last part, is being in that job for the passion. If you are a judge and you actually had the passion of being a judge, it would be for positive reasons that actually help society as a whole, not yourself. That's being self-centered. Same goes with law enforcement. They think they're all educated in law. Again, don't tell victims lies about laws that you think is right. Just like the landlord-tenant rights, my landlord broke the laws of VAWA and landlord laws. There are laws, just like there is with jobs. Yeah, they say that anybody could fire you for whatever reason. Yeah, right. I was bullied and harassed at work. I was discriminated against. That is illegal. There are laws out there. So stop telling victims lies about laws. They have rights. Don't lie to them. That causes more problems. That's allowing the abuse and enabling the abuse to continue happening. That's also causing the victim harm and feeling helpless and blaming and shaming themselves for what's happening to them. Stop it. Ooh, this is a really good one. It isn't a crime because it didn't happen in a public place. What? Well, basically a common public place. It's not a crime since it happened. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. It didn't happen, because it happened in a common public place. The stalking and harassing can't happen there. Ooh, how ignorant. I haven't looked that up because I was pretty sure that stalking and harassing can happen anywhere. Whether it's at your home, they're coming to your home without your permission. It can happen at the park. It can happen anywhere. It's happening where I'm living outside my apartment complex. They look out their freaking windows, see me out there, call their other little gang member buddies, and come out and follow me, yelling at me, threatening me, insulting me. Oh, just ignore it. When I want to have a time to relax, unwind before I go to bed for a walk at night, I can't do it now because them assholes are spying on me, coming out, threatening me, insulting me. Again, I hope you go through what I had to go through for over a year now. If you think that's little and I'm making a big deal out of nothing, I hope you go through what I did. Ooh, the video recording. Ooh, this is a good one. Actually, that's where the law enforcement is flawed too, in saying that it's illegal to record somebody without their permission. Not all of them. Yeah, it is legal in a public place. Ooh, but they gave an excuse for the abuser, saying that since it was happening in a common public place, it wasn't stalking and harassment. Even though it's legal for me to record in a public place. Ooh, see? They're on the abuser side. Absolutely correct. Just like those judges that say, well, they didn't physically harm you, even knowing that stalking and harassing is violence. It is violence and it is illegal. Yeah, I didn't get any bruises or whatever, but it is illegal. Why do we have laws that are enforced? What is the point of them? Did they physically attack you? I just stated right there. I want to see you have to be scared walking outside, not wanting to go outside because people end up showing up out of nowhere, following you, yelling at you, threatening you, insulting you when you're trying to have a peaceful walk at the end of the day after your job. I want to see you go through that. You should get a restraining order. Oh, I love this one. This is why the law enforcement, police department, and the courthouse should be combined. That way they know what's actually going on. But also, the flaw just goes back to what I just stated, is that laws, yeah, right, they use their own personal beliefs and opinions. Screw the laws, the judges say. Oh, it wasn't physical, so they can't be that hurt. Again, I hope you go through what I did. And I want to have you feel the pain I did. It physically affected me. I was sick. I ended up missing days of work. And I ended up losing my job. So I hope you go through the same. Because you shouldn't have a job if you enabled these abusers that did this to me. Restraining order. I went over that before. I was denied it many times. I did have evidence. But guess what? The deputy on my case told me today that he didn't even see it, that he didn't get it. I gave it to a deputy. I gave it on the link he sent me, and I assumed he had it because that deputy told me he gave it to him, so he should have seen that evidence. I have videos. I have voice recordings. I have pictures. Guess what? A lot of those deputies are from the Imbeciles Are Us Club. Because I pointed out in those videos where those abusers were admitting to the abuse that they were doing to me. That is illegal. All they heard was talking. These are investigators. That goes to the one that said he's a great investigator and well educated. Has to do with passion and actually wanting to do your job that will actually benefit society as a whole. So all those judges that denied my restraining orders, you are the ones that are part of enabling the abuse to continue happening to me. Same with those deputies. You won't get a restraining order because you don't have enough evidence. They expect me to have my camera on 24/7. What? Why should I have to go through that hell? That's part of my life that I'm losing. You know what? Instead of all this other stuff that you tell victims to do, why don't you supply them with the body camera? Why don't you supply them with the stuff that you need in order to get these criminals behind bars? So us victims don't have to pay and take responsibility and take punishment for the crimes of others. I can't help you because I'm not the deputy on your case. Wow, that happened several times. Because my deputy got moved to a different district. He's still on my case, but he even told me himself. Those deputies didn't want to do their job, so they just used the excuse that they can't do anything. Yeah, they could have. They could have added on to my case. But guess what? All the deputies suck at writing those reports. I could have gotten restraining orders and should have. Oh, well, that's if the judges didn't use their personal opinions and beliefs instead of going by laws that are out there and should be stood by. Nope. Yeah, they didn't put the names of the people that were doing things to me, that were harming me. Many times, certain people were warned by deputies more than twice to leave me alone and stop stalking and harassing me. It's not in the reports. What the heck? I'm not even a police officer, and I know that's important to put in the records in case that person does need a restraining order. Yeah. So it is so disgusting to me that I would think that's common sense to do that. Well, that law states that the landlord can evict you for any reason. Bullcrap! Stop telling victims lies. That landlord went against so many laws, and they can lose their job, and HUD is on it now. And also the housing authority should have done something too. They knew about all this stuff going on. But guess what? Out of discrimination and favoritism for this so-called great place on their list, they didn't help me. Well, did you mail those postcards? I sent a joke to my friends. They knew I was sending it. They gave me their address. They set me up. I had to go through the heartache in the grievance process because two of the most significant people in my life, which happened to be the man that I first felt the feeling of love with out of everybody, not just as a man in an intimate partnership, but also I had a friend that I first felt significant feelings for and were very sentimental to me. People warned me that she was a part of the gang. I didn't want to believe it. I got rid of my intimate partner, believe it or not, first, but with her it was extremely hard. I kept on going back. But yeah, she was a huge part of it. And that happened with that card that she knew about and actually saw it herself before and thought it was funny. But because they weren't on the list of gang members I had reported to the police department, they actually used her to go against me, and she bring it to the landlord along with another person I thought was my friend, saying that they didn't know that I was sending that to them. So it was a setup, and it was very hurtful, but at least I realized and accepted that she isn't a friend, and I stopped that relationship finally. Well, the courts denied the restraining order and warrant for arrest. Yeah, that's because, as I stated before, the police deputies didn't write down the reports thoroughly and properly. They didn't put names in it. They didn't say it was harassment. They said it was a disturbance, as though it was nothing, based on personal beliefs. Instead of going by the laws, it is stalking and harassment. Big difference between freedom of speech and, let's just put it out there, bullying and harassment. What's the difference? Bullying. Ooh. Okay, bullying. That's me saying the Indian River County crap house. That's bullying. See, at least I can admit it. Well, hey, guess what? Those gangs here, bullied me from the start. That's how usually gangs start off with, to see if they could get their victim down. It didn't work for them. You guys are making out gangs as though it's simple bullying. Yeah, they called me a lesbian, they called me crazy, all kinds of things. Did it bother me? Not really. I didn't even know who these people were. I just heard about it from others. But it ended up being criminal. Gangs are what is known as causing current and future harm. Current and future harm. As I've already discussed, is that it did cause me current and future harm. I now have to move out of my home. I ended up financially struggling due to the abuse that happened to me. That's future harm. Because it took me a long time to get a job again. And yeah, I financially struggled. I was just lucky that I had outside support to help me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have made it to where I am at now. So, gangs, they do criminal activities. They try to make false accusations and get me evicted from my home. That should be seen as criminal, is them making false accusations and causing me harm like that. Anything that they cause harm as for financial, your social, your home, your job, that is criminal. And that is something I can never forgive, is somebody causing harm to your home or your job based on lies. I see them just as bad as somebody going to jail for being a sexual offender when they weren't a sexual offender and it was a false accusation. I see these people as bad as them. I can never forgive that. I could actually see them worse than a sexual offender. That's the honest truth. I hate liars, and I hate people that cause harm to others based on false accusations and cause them harm like they did to me. Absolutely the worst people on the face of this earth. Oh, the egotistical cops. I know my job. I'm educated. I brought that up in the other parts. Is the wanting to do your job for the passion and actually benefiting society as a whole. That's where I'm different. I know there's flaws in the mental health field. I didn't take at what a professional said as gold because I know that many things out there are based on theories, just like science. There's many theories out there, and it's mostly theories based on personal opinions and beliefs. And that's something that should be taught in the law enforcement. I don't know if it ever was based upon the mental health field. It's not so much enforced. But then again, look at the mental health field. They enabled abuse to happen to me as well in my past. And I hold them accountable for that as well. And I'm in that field too. So don't feel offended based upon me slashing on your profession that you look highly upon, because I do it to my own profession. But that's taking what? Responsibility for what my profession has done wrong to people as a whole. Again, I am doing this not only for myself, and I honestly don't expect anyone to do the right thing based upon my situation now. I honestly don't. But I honestly hope that based upon my situation, everyone will take a second thought and really think about this. I don't expect this to happen in my lifetime, but I honestly hope to make changes, positive changes, for current and future victims as a whole. And I hope so many things change so that our country isn't the land of the free for abusers and criminals to roam. That's it for my presentation. I'm Shelly Rothis, and I'm a different kind of victim. Thank you for watching.